Alvin Castine here. We're just getting going with Plattsburgh High School at Northeastern Clinton. Actually at the Mart Lanes. Northeastern Clinton is the home team and Plattsburgh High the visitors. When the third bowlers, they kind of surprised me. They were all standing up there like they do when they practice, and all of a sudden the first ball of the game was thrown. So they kind of snuck one in on me there, and the first ball thrown was a strike from Dylan Roberts for the Cougars. Since then we've had a spare from Chris Burley and a spare from Adam Bayshard. Over on the Plattsburgh side, Justin Bouye. Justin Bouye had an open. Dennis Cregan had a strike, and Kyle Ryan had a spare. This is Dan Dragoon. And over here is Charlie Martin. Martin picks up his spare. Here's Dragoon going for his. Have to be careful. His grandmother and his brother are sitting right next to me. Be very careful what I say about Dan Dragoon. I'll bring up Josh Friend for the Cougars and Ryan Bennett for Plattsburgh High School. This is the 14th day of January 2005. It's a makeup game. Game scheduled for earlier in the week and was iced out. I think it was earlier in the week. Maybe it was last week. Weeks turn into days, or days turn into weeks. Strike for Bouye. And here's Bennett picking up the double wood to get his spare. I'll give you the averages. Bouye carries a 208 average. Dennis Cregan, who's up now, carries a 177. Kyle Ryan a 182. Dan Dragoon a 201. And Ryan Bennett a 187. Those are the Plattsburgh bowlers. Over on the Cougars side, we get a strike double here for Dylan Roberts. Roberts carries a 141. Burley a 156, Bayshard a 148, Martin a 150, and Josh Friend, the anchor bowler, a 181. Here's Cregan. And Cregan will knock it off. I've been told to knock it off once in a while. Burley puts his first ball in the second frame in the gutter. That'll bring up Ryan for Plattsburgh. The first of 3 games we'll be bringing you. Next up will be either the girls or the B-boys, depending on which team is moving faster. Looks like the 1, 2, 4 is left, and that's his second ball, so he's going to have an open. Ryan has, I believe, the 3, 6, 9, what it looks like. Here's Bayshard. And Bayshard also has double wood. He has the 1, 2, 8. Ryan waiting for his ball. Bayshard misses his spare. Now Martin. Martin gets 7 pins on his first ball. And let's see, I guess Ryan will settle for that one. Wants to check to see if it's been damaged. And Martin going for a spare. He's going to go to the left a little bit and leave 2. Now Ryan is up. And Ryan looks like he might have it. He's got it. Nice ball after waiting all that time. Here's Friend. And Friend leaves the 4-7. bring up Dragoon. Dragoon gets 8 on his first ball. And Friend picks up his spare, barely picking it up. Combined, the Plattsburgh boys have a 39 handicap. Cougars have a handicap of 167. So quick math would make about 128. Dragoon picks up the spare. 118, I guess. Let's see, 41. Oh, 128 difference. Bennett gets 7 pins in his first ball. And Bouye starting the third frame. Leaves the 1, 2, 4. Bennett has the other side of the string. And he picks it up. That was the 3, 6, 10. Well, both bowlers pick up the spares. Now here's Roberts, who was working on a double. And he leaves a 10 pin. Cregan he leaves the 4 pin. Roberts going for his spare. Looks like he may have slipped, and he put it in the gutter. After a double, he gets an open. There's Cregan, and Cregan will pick up his spare. Gets us to Burley for Northeastern. Burley strikes. And Ryan, little double pinnacle. Let's see, team was about 100 pins ahead. At this juncture, Bayshard waiting for the pin setter. There's Ryan. He gets 2 of them. Bayshard leaves a 7 pin. Alright, we've got, let's see here, this side 222 to 339. So Plattsburgh has picked up a few pins. Dragoon leaves a split. Bayshard picks up his spare. Looks like the 2, 4, 8, 10. An open for Dragoon. Here's Martin for the Cougars. And Martin strikes. I'll bring up Bennett for Plattsburgh. We're in the third frame. Bennett with 2 spares thus far. And he leaves the split. There's Friend. Strike for Josh Friend. There's a strike, spare, and strike. And Bennett gets 9 for the frame. Bouye will start the 4th. And Bouye strikes. Roberts gets 9 pins, leaves the 4 pin. Regan waiting for a slow pin setter. Roberts will miss the spare, so that's back-to-back opens for him. Regan with a strike. Burley leaves the 1-2-4. I'll bring up Ryan. And Ryan leaves the 1-2. And Burley picks up his spare. Ryan was paying attention. He knows exactly where to throw the ball. Actually, I would imagine that's one of the easier spares to pick up. You ought to be able to hit that head pin once in a while, and that's what they did. And Bayshard strikes for the Cougars. Looks like 399. No, it's up to 419 now to 302. Dragoon leaves the 610 to bring up Martin. He leaves the 1-2. There's Dragoon. And Dragoon spares. Martin will also spare. Bennett up for the Hornets. And lefty 8-pin. Friend leads the 610. Bennett will, oh, just barely. The ball was breaking, but it hung on to pick up the pin. Now Josh Bren picks up his spare. Bring us to Roberts. Ooh, somebody lost the ball over there in the B match. Shook up Roberts enough that he put his in the gutter. There's Bouye. And Bouye gets 8 on his first ball. Leaves the 310. Up to 10 pin. Now Cregan up for Plattsburgh. And he strikes. Brings up Roberts for the Cougars. And Roberts will leave the 9 pin. Or is that the 4? That's I mean the 6. It's like maybe the 6 pin. That was his second ball. I forgot about that gutter ball. Burley strikes. It's his second strike. And he has one open so far. Here's Ryan going for his spare. And Ryan picks it up. Now Bayshard. Leaves the 1-2-7. Dragoon for the Hornets. Left to 4 pin. Bayshard. Off to 7 pin. There's Dragoon going for a spare. He will pick it up. Green and yellow ball. I wonder if his grandfather has seen that ball. Martin, it's 8 pins. Bennett gets 9, leaves the 7 pin. Martin will pick up, no, did not pick up his spare. And Bennett leaves the 7 pin. Brings up Friend. Martin strikes. Well, he has strike, spare, strike, spare, strike. And a strike for Roberts. His string of opens is over, and there's Bouye. And leaves, I believe, the 5 pin. Burley has double wood. $2-9. There's Bouye and Burley. But the back one, that's hard to do. That's hard to do. That should be worth 11 pins if we do it that way. There's Cregan. And Bayshard. Cregan has the 5-9 to get. Bayshard has the 10. That's the 5 pin. And Bayshard picks up the spare. There's Ryan. He gets a strike. Martin now for the Cougars. Martin leaves the 2-5-6. There's Dragoon. He gets a strike. That'll be that green and yellow ball that's doing it. Martin misses his spare. I'll bring up Bennett. We are in the 6th frame in a game that's moving along rather quickly, except for this pin setter here on lane 13. Josh Friend gets the strike, he gets a double. Bennett gets a strike. Now Bouye starting the 7th frame. Bouye going for a spare. We'll get 8 for the frame. Roberts. He's double wood there. He's got the, I don't know, 3-8, 3-6-8, I think. Off the 3 ball. Cregan up for the Hornets. Needs to curve it. He misses the spare. Burley leaves the 1-2-4. Ryan up now for Plattsburgh. Left to 10 pin. Burley spares. There's Ryan. And he missed his spare. Bayshard up for the Cougars. And he strikes. Dragoon. Oh. Martin. 5-9. Dragoon's got 5 pins to try to pick up. open. And Martin spares. Bennett up for the Hornets. It's 8 pins in his first ball, and here's Friend for the Cougars. That's a triple turkey for Josh Friend. There's Bennett. Bennett spares. Bouye up. Plattsburgh, he's starting the eighth frame. Strikes. And 9 pins for Roberts. It's Cregan. Roberts went for his spare ball and that didn't work. There's Cregan. Cregan leaves a 7 pin. Almost had the coveted 7-10 split. There's Burley. He's got a 7-10 split, but he's got a 3 and a 6 to go along with it. Cregan picks up the spare. There's Burley. Picks it up. Ryan. It's 6 pins in his first ball. Bayshard gets 7. Ryan spares. We should check that score again. Bayshard gets 9 for the frame. For Plattsburgh, it's 6:05. 7:39. Cougars are rolling about even with the Hornets as far as scratch goes. Dragoon gets 8 pins on his first ball. Martin will strike. So scratch, it's 574 to 592. Cougars are actually, at this point, a little ahead of the Hornets. Dragoon spares. And Hornets are already giving the Cougars about 120 pins to start with. Friend, it's another one, a 4-bagger for Josh Friend. That's his 6th strike of the game. There's Bennett. Took a slow pitch that time. Left a 6 pin. Bouye will start the 9th frame. And Bouye strikes. Bennett going for his spare. And he picks it up. Cregan up. Cregan leaves the 1-2. Roberts puts it in the gutter. Cregan will miss the snow. He'll pick it up. A little hook at the end. Let's see if Roberts can get his spare. Nope, he'll get 6 for the frame. We'll get us to Ryan. And Ryan strikes. Burley up now for the Cougars. And Burley has double wood there. He has a 2-8-10, I guess. 2-9-10. Dragoon with a strike. Rhodes is in the gutter. And Bennett ready to go as soon as the pin setter is ready. Left the 6 pin. Bayshard with a strike. Bennett going for his spare. He will pick it up. So it's 7:31 with a 692 scratch to 8:19 with a 652 scratch. Here's Martin. And Charles Martin with a strike. Roberts starting their 10th frame. Leaves a 10 pin. Friend will wrap up the 9th frame, working on a 4-bagger. Roberts will miss his spare. So he has a 127 and a 141 average. Friend left the 4 pin. He's finishing up the 9th frame. Friend picks up the spare, but barely. Bouye will lead off the 10th. The 10th for the Hornets. Bouye carries a 208 average. It's 7 pins in his first ball. Here's Burley. And he got 6 pins. Bouye will spare. No, left the 10 pin. It's tough in the 10th to have that happen. Burley will also have an open. So let's check the scores. 153 for Bouye, who carries that 208 average. Burley with a 134. Burley carries a 156 average. Cregan put it in the gutter. Bayshard strikes here in the 10th. That's a double. Here's Cregan. Gets 5 for the frame. Bayshard with a triple now. Cregan ends up with a 155. Cregan has a 177 average. I don't think we've had anybody hit their average yet. Burley with a 156 average at that 134. Bayshard's last fill ball gets 8 pins. Well, Bayshard carries a 148 average. He should be over his average. 6 pin left by Ryan. Spare for Ryan. And 178 for Bayshard. Martin has a split. 178 for Bayshard. He has a 148 average. Here's Ryan. It's 9 pins. Al Martin has an open in the 10th. Martin has a 153. waiting for Cregan. See, Martin a 153 carries a 150 average, so he's right around his average. Friend with another strike. Let's see, Cregan with a 155, we said him. This is Dragoon, he strikes. 167 for Kyle Ryan, he has a 182 average. Friend throws it in the gutter. Well, he can still get the spare to get 10 pins for the fill balls. Dragoon with a strike. Friend. It's 9 for the fill. With 228. Martin with a 153. The 228, Friend with a 181 average. Martin, as we said, right around his average of 150. Cregan 177 average. Ryan a 182. Dan Dragoon carries a 201 average. As his final fill ball, he gets 9. He'll be well under his average. He got a 186. That's 15 under his 201 average. I'll bring up the final bowler, 187 average, Ryan Bennett. Bennett leaves the 610. Looking to spare here. Leaves the 10 pin. That gives him a 156. And he had an average of 187. So that'll wrap up the A team. We're going to move on. And as soon as we leave, Margaret Dragoon can start cheering. So she's happy to see us depart. We're going to move on over to the left here and pick up a match.
Yours, I guess.
We are getting our camera set up here in the girls' match. Each team has thrown a ball. We'll figure out who they are in a moment. Let's see, this is the second bowler for the Cougars and second bowler for the Hornets. Let's figure out what we're doing here. Okay, Corrine LeBaire is the first bowler for Plattsburgh. This is Katie Alger. This is Diesel going for her second ball in the first frame. Game 2. Let's see, Megan Friend bowled first. She had an open. Diesel has a spare. LeBaire had a spare. Alger going for her spare. And she picks it up. This looks like Parker. And the 7, the coveted, highly coveted 7-10 split. Will Danielle Parker be the first one to pick up a 7-10 split on hometown cable? Much acclaim will be given the person who picks one up for the first time. Tape and bowling since probably about the 86, 87 season. A three-pointer of field goal. Yep, gets 3 points for that. And here's Ryan. Doesn't get the acclaim that goes with picking up the 7-10 though. Ryan also has an open. That's Megan Ryan. This is Sorrell. And Sorrell will pick up a little split of her own there. This is Gates, Sarah Gates. And Gates has 7 pins on her first ball. Okay, let's get some averages. For the Cougars, Megan Friend carries a 130 average, Kelsey Deso a 138, Danielle Parker a 127, Erin Sorrell a 141. There's Tierney with a strike. Gates had an open. Sorrell 141 and Danielle Tierney, the anchor bowler, 175. Over on the Plattsburgh side, as we see Steele coming up, we have Corrine Baker, who will be starting the second frame here on the right. A strike for Steele and 9 pins for LeBaire. Corrine LeBaire has a 140 average, Alger a 144, Ryan a 151, Gates a 170, and Steele a 171. Here's Friend for the Cougars. He yanks it to the left. And LeBaire picks up her spare. Friend needs to get all 10 to spare. And she leaves the 8 pin. It fell. It fell. How about that? So she gets the spare. There's Alger. And Alger leaves the 1-2-8. Deso up for the Cougars. And she leaves the 10 pin. Alger going for her spare, and she will miss. Get one more, so she gets 8 for the frame. There's Ryan for Plattsburgh. She's going to put it in the gutter. Now Deso. Deso misses her spare. Here's Ryan. She'll get 1 for the frame. And Parker. There's the 1-3. I don't know, it must be 9. Strike. Strike for Gates. Parker will miss her spare. She has another open. Now Steele for Plattsburgh. And Sorrell is 7 on her ball. Steele will pick up her spare, and Sorrell will also spare. Well, now Friend will start the third frame for the Cougars with a strike. And Tierney, who's working on a strike, will finish the second frame for the Cougars. She leaves the 6-7. Bring up Deso for Northeastern. Deso leaves the 4-10. Tierney, nice job. Got the 6 and made sure she got the 6, but also came close to getting the 7. Deso picks up her spare. Bring up LeBaire for Plattsburgh. And LeBaire leads the 6-7. There's Parker. Parker left the 5 pin. LeBaire has it open. She missed them both. There's Parker. Parker misses her spare. And Alger.
Lot of wood.
It's a couple pins. The B-boys are still in their first game. Six pins for Sorrell on her first ball. And Alger will spare, yes. And Sorrell. Sorrell gets 8 for the frame. Ryan up for Plattsburgh. And Ryan gets 9 on her first ball. In the third frame, game 2. Tierney. 5 pins. Ryan.
Nice cover, Meg. Nice cover.
Picks up the 10 pin. Gets the spare.
Hey, Meg, come here. Meg.
7 for the frame for Tierney. Now Gates up for Plattsburgh. He strikes. Bear. Leaves the 6-10 and Steele gets a strike. There's LeBear. And we've got Friend. Friend gets 3 pins. Check that team score if we can. Looks like 360 to 387. Here's Friend. Friend didn't get too many for that frame. Alger gets 8 pins. That gets us to Diso. Diso with a strike. Alger misses the front pin. Not sure if that was the head pin or not, but she ends up with 9 for the frame. Brings up Parker for the Cougars. Parker gets 7 on her first ball. Ryan also gets 7. 1, 2, 4, and a 1, 3, 6. With Parker, she will spare. Yes, nice job by Danielle Parker. See if Ryan can do the same. And she will do it. Yes. Nice spare by Meg Ryan. She's very excited about it. There's Sorrell. Sorrell with a strike. Brings up Gates for Plattsburgh. Gates leaves the 10 pin. The B-boys have just barely started. They're in their third bowlers in the first frame. Tierney picks off 7 pins or 6 pins. This is Gates. Gates misses her spare. There's Tierney. She gets him. And now Tierney with the spare. Now Steele finishing the 4th. Leaves the 3, 6, 10. There. It's 6 pins on her first ball. There misses her spare. Friend gets 8 pins. Leaves the 3, 9. There's Alger. Alger gets 5 pins on her first ball. Friend will miss the spare. It's like a 2-pin difference. 451 for the Hornets, 449 for the Cougars. Strike for Diesel, it's a double. Ryan gets 7 pins. And there's Parker. Parker with a strike. Ryan picks up her spare. Sorrell with a strike. And there's Gates. Gates gets 8 pins. Tierney. Tierney gets 9. We're in the 5th frame. There's Gates. In the gutters. Tierney will miss her spare. There's a steal. Steal with a strike. LeBert. And Friend. There misses the first pin. And we got Diesel who's working on a double.
There you go.
Studying the pins. Looking for the triple. Left the 4-7. There's Alger. Alger has a 3-10. Diesel spares. And Alger will miss her spare, puts it in the gutter. And here's Parker. And Ryan. Ryan left the 1-3. Parker left a whole bunch. It's 6 for the frame. Ryan picks up the spare. Sorrell up for the Cougars in lane 11. Sorrell left, I believe, the 8-pin. Here's Gates. He leaves the 4-7. Sorrell will pick up her spare. Here's Gates. Gates spares. Tierney will strike. Steal up now for the Hornets. Leaves a 7-pin. So we'll get LeBaire leading off the 7th frame. With a strike. And Steele closing out the 6th frame. And she spares. Friend now for the Cougars. It's 9 pins in her first ball, and Alger up for the Hornets. We're in the 7th frame. Friend will miss the spare. Alger picks up the spare. Here's Diso. Diso gets 6 in her first ball. Ryan up for Plattsburgh. We're watching Plattsburgh High School at Northeastern Clinton as Diso misses her spare. January 14th, 2005. Ryan picks up her spare. Here's Parker. And Parker strikes. Sorrell up for the Cougars. It's 7 pins. Alger up for the Hornets. It's 9 pins. Sorrell spares. And here's Gates. She spares. Bring up Tierney. And Tierney with a strike. Steele up for Plattsburgh. And LeBaire up starting the 8th frame. Let's check that score here. 637 to 693. Cougars leading. Steele leaves the 10 pin. And LeBaire leaves the 7 pin. Friend with a strike. Starting the 8th for the Cougars. There's Alger. Katie Alger strikes. Chelsea Diso will strike. See if Ryan can keep the strikes going. No! There's 9 of them. She left the 6 pin.
Nice ball, Jeremy. Nice ball.
Ryan going for a spare. She will miss it. Parker working on a strike. It's 9 on the first ball. There's Gates.
Nice ball, man. A lot of wood, Jeremy.
6 pins. Parker spares. gets 8. Sorrell, 7 pins. Steele up next. She leaves the 10 pins. Sorrell will miss her spare. Anchor bowlers are up. We're going to have to switch tapes right after these bowlers finish. Maybe we'll switch tapes. We'll miss a little bit of action, but we have to. This tape we're using is only a 60-minute tape, and we've taped for 57 minutes. Well, there we go. We're going to continue here with another tape.